Hello movie lovers, Bob for Bob's movie review here, and today I'm bringing you a Blu-ray and DVD shopping guide and reviews for June 16th, 2020. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like rating. Remember, you guys can find affiliate links to purchase these movies down in the description below. So, quite a few very interesting and good titles I like this week. First up, we've got A Soldier's Revenge. This one's releasing on a Blu-ray. Amazon and Walmart $14.96, Best Buy and Target $16.99. Also releasing on a DVD, Amazon and Walmart $12.96, Best Buy and Target $14.99. Wellgo USA sent me over a copy of A Soldier's Revenge for review, and I did post an unboxing of this. If you guys would like to check that out, just search for A Soldier's Revenge on my channel. So this movie is a Western, and it's kind of got a lot of moving parts. So there's this guy who was in the Civil War, and now he's like a bounty hunter or something. And there's another guy who was also in the Civil War, and now I didn't understand exactly what his job was. To sell guns to settlers, I believe it was. But he's kind of crooked, and he's selling them to Mexicans and Native Americans, and so he's kind of like this crooked character, and he has a score to settle with the other main character. Now this one does also have Val Kilmer and Jake Busey, but they probably share about 5 total minutes on screen, so not really much of a factor in this one. So the main character, and I don't remember what his name was, so the main character, Frank, these 2 kids come to him and say their mom's disappeared, and he's got to help them find them. Well, the other bad guy has kidnapped their mom, and I don't know, there's this whole revenge plot. But this movie is so long, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and there's just a ton of time where I just didn't understand why they didn't just cut it or why it just kept going. And it's really way too long for what this movie is. And there's just lots of parts where I feel like nothing's really happening, and I lost interest a lot. And the ending to this one is just really kind of weird and didn't make a lot of sense. I did feel like the acting was pretty good. And I also felt like it looked really authentic. Like it really felt like Western. They had kind of the right clothes and the right buildings. And just to me, the production looked really good, and I really liked that. But the movie was just too long. This movie should have been like an hour and a half, not nearly 2.5 hours. I did like the story. If it had been compacted more, it would have been much more enjoyable. So I feel like the major downfall on this one was just that the movie is too long, and the ending is kind of a little didn't make a lot of sense, I guess. So I give this one a 2.5 out of 5, guys. Just too long for me. Next up is The Quarry. This one's releasing on a Blu-ray and digital. Best Buy $14.99. Amazon and Target $16.99, Walmart $17.08. It's also releasing on a DVD, Walmart $12.96, Amazon, Best Buy, and Target $13.99. Next up is Sniper: Assassin's End. This was releasing on a Blu-ray and digital, Amazon, Walmart $14.96, Best Buy and Target $16.99. Also releasing on a DVD, Walmart $12.96, Amazon, Best Buy, and Target $14.99. Sony Pictures Home Entertainment did send me over a copy of Sniper: Assassin's End for review. And I did post an unboxing of this one. If you guys like to check that out, just search for Sniper: Assassin's End on my channel. Kind of a strange title, but once you watch the movie, it definitely makes sense. So in this one, the original sniper's son, he's been set up for the murder of some kind of politician in some country. I can't remember what it was, but basically there's this deal where they're going to open trade with the United States for the first time and end the trade embargo, and he's assassinated, and they set up the son for this, and there's this other kind of assassin in it. So a lot of the movie is people looking for the son, and then the son trying to escape and trying to figure out who's actually setting him up, and there's this there's this Homeland Security guy who's trying to figure out what happened. And to be honest, guys, I was very pleasantly surprised with this movie. Like, I really enjoyed the story. You know, it's kind of a generic kind of soldier thing where, the soldier gets set up and, to prove his innocence, he has to go on the run. And, they made a lot of movies like this, but I thought this was a really cool story. I thought it was really well made and I enjoyed the characters. There were a few parts where I felt like it kind of slowed down a bit and I kind of lost a little bit of interest, but they were few and far between. And overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. I definitely think this one's worth checking out, guys. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Next up is Pretty in Pink. This one's releasing on a Blu-ray. Amazon, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, all $22.99. Paramount Pictures did send me a copy of Pretty in Pink in the new Paramount Presents line for review. And I did post an unboxing of this. If you guys like to check that out, just search for Pretty in Pink on my channel. So this is the film from 1986. It's getting to be around my age there, but it's an 80s film. It's so 80s. Everything in this screams 80s. It's definitely a stereotypical 80s kind of thing. But I really feel like the story is timeless. It holds up. It's still true today. Obviously, the fashion and the music and stuff is very 80s. But I think a very kind of universal story about this girl who isn't well off. And I'm kind of confused how that she's even really getting by. Her dad's like working part-time. Her mom just kind of took off. And she's working at a record store, and I'm just like, how do they even get by? Like, as an adult, I really wonder how they can even afford to live in a house. But so she's kind of being pursued by this rich guy played by James Spader, but she's turned him down because she knows that he's a jerk and whatever. And so then another rich guy is interested in her, and she's interested in him, and her best friend, played by John Cryer, he's in love with her. And when you're younger, you look at the Ducky character and you're just kind of like, he's kind of an idiot and he's a little out there and he doesn't really fit in. As an adult watching this, he's like the strongest character in this movie and like in most movies. He's really out there and he's not afraid. At least not on the exterior, afraid to tell people what he thinks. He's not afraid to tell Molly Ringwald's character that he loves her, like, every day. Like, could you imagine if we just said how we felt and we told people what our feelings were? I don't know that it would be a better world because you might get your feelings hurt a lot. But just imagine if you could just really tell people what you thought. And that's what his character was. And then in the end, he was willing to give up on his happiness for her happiness. And I don't know, I think he's a really great character. So anyways, they kind of have this little romance and then the rich kids turn him against her. And, it's definitely a teen movie about being in high school. It is a great movie, guys. Written by John Hughes, a great writer. And, everybody knows John Hughes movies. And I really enjoyed this one, guys. I mean, I'm very surprised how well it really still resonates today. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. If you guys haven't ever seen this one, definitely check it out. I don't have a DVD or anything to compare this to, but I thought the quality was pretty good. I definitely think that it was a good transfer on this one. Definitely check this out. You get this cool Paramount Presents slipcover there. So next up is Friday the 13th. This one's releasing on a steelbook, and this one will be available at different retailers. It is releasing on a Blu-ray and digital. Amazon, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart, all $14.99. I feel like $14.99 is a good price for this. It's an older movie. It's a steelbook. Paramount Home Entertainment did send me over a copy of Friday the 13th to review for you guys. Now, I did post an unboxing of this already. If you guys would like to check that out, just search for Friday the 13th on my channel. When I did my unboxing, I was a little confused because on the back here it says unrated and R-rated. And then only a 95-minute runtime. This, I believe, only includes the unrated version. The R-rated version is on the digital, but on the disc, it's only the unrated version. I tried. There was no way to change it. So it's just the unrated version on this one. Now, if you guys have never seen this movie, where have you been? That's all I gotta say. So this is, I believe, from 1980, and it's such an iconic, well-known slasher movie. One of my favorites. I've always said the acting isn't that great in this, and boy, is it not. Even Kevin Bacon, he does all right, but I mean, this obviously must be before he was known. So at the beginning, we see a few camp counselors being killed, and then we fast forward, was it 20 years or something like that, and they're reopening Camp Crystal Lake, or as the locals call it, Camp Blood. And so there's all these teenage counselors heading out there. The guy who runs it's a little bit older. He's definitely, maybe in his late 20s or 30s. And he's running it, and so all these kids come out there, and people are like, oh, don't go out there. There's a death curse. It's Camp Blood. But if you think about it, really, at this point, I believe there have only been 2 murders there, unless I'm thinking of it wrong, but it hasn't been a lot, There's been a couple murders, and people are like, oh, you can't go out there. So they go out there, and they're fixing this place up, and they're going to be having they're going to be having kids come at some point, I guess. And they're just doing, like, painting and setting up the archery range. And there's like a really bad storm, and the head guy, he's like, I'll be back by lunch. But before you know it, it's nighttime, and he's at a diner, and I'm just kind of like, okay, what happened there? And they're all just kind of stuck there by themselves, and the power goes out, but they have a generator, and they're just slowly being killed off one by one. Now, like I said already, the acting in this movie is not great. It's passable, but I definitely feel like the acting was not on par. But I do feel like the setting is so perfect. The dark, secluded camp. I love camp slasher movies. They're so much fun. And then you have the killer who's tracking down all these counselors. The killer in the end, I think they definitely played on what you wouldn't expect, and I think it's kind of a good twist. It's a little odd. Last thing that always really bugged me about this movie is when they do the prosthetics or whatever, they slash someone's throat, stab someone through the throat. Whatever they're using, it's not even close to skin color, and it always really bothered me. Just, it looks good in the effect, but it's like a gray color, and I'm like, well, it doesn't even look like skin, It always bothered me in this one, but I've always really liked this movie, guys, and I still think it's a lot of fun. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Next up is 2 Minutes of Fame, releasing on a DVD. Amazon and Best Buy, $13.99, Walmart, $14.76, and Target, no listing. Now, Lionsgate did send me over a streaming link of 2 Minutes of Fame for review. And this one was about this guy who's a comedian, and he just posts on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and he does stand-up, but he just pretty much does impressions, and he ends up getting into this comedy tournament thing. I can't remember what they called it, but he's going to go there and compete, and he has to go to California, and his friend / manager is going with him. And at the same time, he had posted a video review of a movie, and the character is played by Cat Williams. And it had some negative stuff to say about it, and kind of all the people around Cat Williams' character, they're kind of all really trying to get him to kind of instigate this thing, and he doesn't really care. And they're kind of filming conversations with him and posting them on Facebook. And before you know it, these guys are enemies. And Cat Williams' character really kind of goes on the attack against him, and then he's kind of got to figure out his life, his kid, his money, his comedy, and just kind of work on it all and improve himself. And it's a very common theme in movies where you have to realize your mistakes and overcome them and come out on top in the end. And I thought this was a well-acted movie. I would have expected it to be a little funnier. There were definitely some good funny parts, especially the stand-up sections I thought were really good. And I'm wondering if some of the other actors were actually just stand-up comedians. I didn't know any of them, so I'm not positive. But I thought a lot of the stand-up was really funny. And, I think the production, they did a good job. And they did things that I think would keep the budget down and make it seem almost more like something you might film for YouTube than necessarily a movie. But I'm not trying to say it's badly done. I think it was well done. It's definitely a fun movie. I think there's some good laughs and a good story. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. Next up is Gladiator, releasing on a 4K Steelbook. It will include 4K Blu-ray and digital. Amazon, Best Buy, and Target, $24.99. Walmart, $27.99. Paramount Pictures did send me over a copy of Gladiator for review. I haven't got to watch this yet, guys. I just got it, and I had to make the decision that since it is a nearly 3-hour movie, I just wasn't going to get a chance to watch it for this week's video. I really hate to do that, but since it was so long, I'm just going to have to review it next week. I did post an unboxing though if you guys would like to check that out. It's a nice steelbook. Next up, Braveheart is getting a 4K steelbook, which include 4K Blu-ray and digital. Amazon, Best Buy, and Target $27.99. Walmart, no listing. Next up is Lego DC Shazam Magic and Monsters, releasing on a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. Walmart $17.96, Amazon, Best Buy, and Target $19.99. It's also releasing on a DVD. Walmart $14.96, Amazon, Best Buy, and Target $14.99. Next up is Impractical Jokers, the movie. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Impractical Jokers. I've seen a little though, but there's this one skit, so hilarious. Like I laugh so hard. I watch it so many times where this guy like gives them the money and they're like, okay, just stare at it. And he's just like, and the guy's just standing there while he's staring at it. Anyways, I guess they made a movie. It is releasing on a Blu-ray. Amazon and Walmart $19.96, Best Buy $19.99, and Target only $33.49. It is also releasing on a DVD. Amazon and Walmart $19.96, Best Buy and Target $22.99. Next up is Three Christs, releasing on a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. Amazon, Target, and Walmart $19.96, Best Buy, no listing. As far as I could find, there is no standalone DVD version. And I did review this back when it hit theaters or hit digital or whatever. So you guys can check out that review by searching for Three Christs on my channel. I gave it a 3 out of 5. You know, it was a little slow. It was about this guy who was a doctor, and he had these 3 psychiatric patients who all believed they were Christ, and he was trying to do some study. I don't know. I thought it was too slow for me. But I mean, the acting was good and the story overall was all right, but it was a little too slow for me. And then we have The Marshes. This one's releasing on a Blu-ray. Best Buy $14.99, Amazon and Walmart $15.95. Target, no listing. Also releasing on a DVD. Amazon and Target $13.99. Best Buy and Walmart, no listing. Now, I haven't checked this one out, guys, but I just wanted to let you guys know that Tainted is releasing on digital from Epic Pictures. I will be reviewing this one. Hopefully, I'll have that review up maybe Tuesday morning. But I haven't seen it yet, but it is releasing. Just wanted to let you guys know. Last thing I have for you guys this week, Universal Pictures Home Entertainment sent over The Hunt for review. I did post an unboxing of this. If you guys would like to check that out, just search for The Hunt on my channel. I didn't know a whole lot about this movie. It had a little bit of controversy because they ended up delaying it or canceling it because of the graphic, violent nature. And then they later decided to go ahead and release it, or maybe that was the plan all along. But what happens is these rich people gather up this whole group of people and they take them out to hunt them. Now, at the beginning, I really liked it was very mysterious. You had no clue what was going on, and these people just kind of wake up and they don't know what's going on and they're all scared. And it hits the fan quick. Before you know it, people are just dying left and right. I don't know though. They had a lot of booby traps, which I feel like if you're hunting people, you know, putting landmines out, you know, that's not really your goal there. But whatever. People are just dropping quick, like super quick. And I was very shocked. I was like, this is so weird. Why is everybody dying so fast? You got to kill them off slowly, right? So we get pretty much one main character who is kind of like this woman who can defeat anyone, beat anything. She sees all the traps, and she can make it through anything. But through most of the movie, you don't really know what's going on. You don't know who's behind it. You don't know what their motives are. And, you know, it's very confusing and you're in the dark, but in a good way. You know, you're just trying to figure it out. Luckily, of course, this is a film that everything you want answered, I think, is revealed in the end. And I thought this is a really fun movie, guys. I loved it. I like the acting. It is a bit gory, and there is a little bit of just kind of graphic violence going on. I didn't feel like it really crossed the line of being overly graphic. I mean, there is kind of like a lot of blood splatter and stuff. And there were a few scenes that I felt really hugged the line, but I didn't feel like it really went over the line. The only thing I was kind of really disappointed in was the ending. I felt like it just kind of was a little too slow, and it just didn't feel to really flow with the rest of the movie. But I like this one, guys. It's definitely one to check out. I give this a 4 out of 5. Well, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys have seen any of these movies or you plan on picking any of them up, let me know down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos, check the Shazam videos, and for more movie news, check out my website, bobsmoviereview.com. And I'll see you guys next time.